So the Packers' final injury report just came out, and there's some not so great news here. First off, the one player who is already declared out is Devonte Wyatt, who has an ankle injury, didn't practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I think Devonte Wyatt has been one of the most productive Packers defensive linemen so far this season. He's played really well this year. And so to lose him, that's a big blow for this Packers defense heading into Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Rams. Now we have two players who are doubtful. Christian Watson with his ankle is doubtful. And I would say based on the initial injury and what it looked like, I'm surprised that he's not already declared out. But it doesn't look like he'll be playing come Sunday. But I'd say that's somewhat a good sign that he's not already declared out for at least the upcoming weeks. Hopefully he'll be back pretty soon. And the fact that the Packers didn't place him on the IR is a good sign that he'll probably be back sometime in the next few weeks. Now, here's another one that is slightly concerning with Christian Watson most likely missing Sunday's game. Romeo Douglas is also doubtful to play on Sunday. He has a personal issue, and that's why he didn't practice on Thursday or Friday. And so not sure what that is. Hopefully everything is okay with him, but he is also doubtful. So if the Packers are without Christian Watson and Romeo Douglas, we're already going to see a lot of Dontavian Wicks, who without Christian Watson, that was already, we were already expecting to see Wicks a lot more often, just as we did later last game once Christian Watson went down. And I think Wicks is a very talented player. If he can clean up those drops, I really do think he can be one of the more productive receivers on this Packers roster. And then, of course, if Dobbs is also out, then we're going to need to see some more from, Malik Heath and Bo Melton. And as I've said before, the Packers have a ton of depth in this wide receiver room. And so I don't think it's the end of the world if both of them can't play. Obviously, that's not good to have two of your top receivers missing. But with Wicks and Melton and Malik Heath, I think the Packers should be fine overall against the Rams defense that has been one of the worst in the NFL. Now, we have a ton of players who are questionable. Jair is questionable with a groin injury. He did practice on Thursday and Friday. He was limited Thursday and Friday. He missed last week's game against the Vikings, and so we'll see if he plays, if he's able to come back finally this week. He is questionable. Now, Kenny Clark, he's fully good to go. He didn't practice Wednesday with the toe injury, but then he was limited Thursday and Friday, so he is good to go. So that's good news. And Edgerrin Cooper, also questionable. He was limited Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, and was limited on Friday with a hip injury, and he is questionable. And then Jonathan Ford, recently brought back to the roster. He is questionable after being limited Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Elton Jenkins, also questionable with a knee injury. Didn't practice Wednesday, was limited Thursday and Friday. And so that would be a big loss if he can't play coming into Sunday. The Rams have the highest pressure rate among defensive lines in the NFL, even though they're about 24th in sacks. But that would be a big blow if he can't go. Also questionable. Now, Jordan Morgan's shoulder, limited Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He is questionable. He, missed, I believe, last game. And Sean Ryan has played pretty good so far at right guard. Luke Musgrave, also questionable. Didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So without him practicing, I would assume he's not going to play. Tucker Kraft this season has really gotten ramped up in snaps. He's been the more productive tight end. I think he's been better blocking overall. But it looks like Musgrave may not play. He is questionable. Carrington Valentine, also questionable. Of course, he didn't play last week along with Jair Alexander. But he was limited Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And he's questionable to play on Sunday. So that's a ton of injuries for the Packers. Not something you want to see heading into a game with one guy out, two doubtful, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different guys questionable. So we're going to need to watch this going into Sunday's game and, sort of see who can play, who doesn't play. But there's a lot of key players here to keep an eye on, and it could obviously affect the game. Now for the Rams, they just have two players listed as out. Cooper Kupp, who's already expected to miss this game, is out with his ankle injury. And then Larrell Murchison, defensive end, is also out. But outside of that, they have their other guys are playing. It looks like Darius Williams will be back, and Tre'Davious White also will be there as well with no injury status. So if you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.